one thing, it only benefits a program that uses or can use the two chips simultaneously. So that's, by the way, not your operating system. That's not your word processor. That's not your browser. It's almost nothing you would do normally uses more than one processor at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So there really wasn't much gain to be had from dual core, quad core. There's even many more cores. It uses a lot more power and a lot more heat. Apple has come up with their own chips, which are much lower power, much less hot. And they are doing now with the M1 Pro and the M1 Pro and the M1 Max are single core. But this Ultra, the one that we just got with the studio, is the first dual core, where it has two systems on a chip linked together with a very, very fast 7.5 terabyte interconnect, which means they can talk to each other almost instantaneously, which is better than Intel, frankly, but still, it's two chips. And unless the thing you want to do requires or is capable of splitting the job up into two different tasks, there's not a lot of benefit to that. So my wife really wasn't wrong when she said that this M1 Ultra $4,999 computer wasn't any faster than her M1 $1,000 M1 MacBook Air, because they're running at the same clock speed. If it's a single process that doesn't use multiple cores, you're not going to see the benefit. Leo, you say, in your mind, or out loud if you're alone, what about the GPU? Well, it's the same thing. They have a GPU. It's got multiple cores, many cores. I mean, with the M1 Ultra, I think you've got something like 20 CPU cores or threads. You've got two chips, but you've got 20 cores, and the processor's up to 32 cores, I think. So, but is it 32 times faster? No, only if you're running 32 things at once, which most people don't ever do. So, it's really an important lesson. How much RAM you get is good, and by doubling the chips, Apple doubles the RAM capability, so they now can go up to 128 gigs. They were stuck at 16 with the original M1, so that's good. They have more Thunderbolt ports because, again, that was limited by the number of Thunderbolt ports provided by the single core. So they can do more, and it will be faster if you need a lot of memory. Graphics processors have access to all that memory, so they'll be faster. But the core itself is running at the same clock speed on all the chips, all the M1s, from the very first Mac Mini or the M1 MacBook Air to the most recent Mac Studio Ultra Max super duper high end. You can actually get up to about $7,000 if you max it out. So the only people who should buy that, by the way, people who know they're going to be using stuff that uses multiple cores. That's who you would know if you needed it, I think.
That's a perfect way to put it. Yes, you would know if this is something that you need. Otherwise, you would be so happy with a machine that is far less costly than this.
Yeah. So that's I think that's maybe not said enough. Really, but what is cool is what Apple's doing with these processors is really amazing. Not necessarily faster than Intel. Let's point that out. Intel and AMD do have chips that are faster, but at what price? At about 4 or 5 times more wattage, a lot more heat as a result of bigger thing. You know, this Mac Studio, for as fat as it is, almost all of it is the power supply and the fan, or thrusters, or whatever they call them. The computer itself is really just a little thin board, not much bigger than a couple of iPhones side by side. That's it. So, and they do need cooling because they're going to be running as fast as their little feet can run. But I have to say, trying as hard as I could to max it out, this Ultra never got hot. The fan never got loud. It was going the whole time. Now, the interesting thing, your display has a fan in it too.
Yeah, there was some cooling feels up at the top of it where the vents were, which was interesting.
This is a 27-inch monitor. They call it the Studio Display. $1,500. Actually, you could spend more if you want to get a pivoting arm.
And a nano texture glass,
fancy
and all that
glass.
kind of stuff.
It's a nice monitor. It's not a great monitor. It doesn't have HDR. It's only 600 nits of brightness, which isn't. There are brighter monitors out there. There are better monitors out there for a lot less. LG's ultra-fine display, which Apple was selling their 5K monitor, is $200, $300 less. But what's interesting about this, it seems to be this has an iPhone built in.
Yeah, that's kind of what it boils down to. So
That's really weird.
in fact, there was Scooter X has shared the quote a few times. During Fireballs, John Gruber went into the system information menu, graphics/displays, and discovered that the studio display is running software version 15.4 with a build number, and that build number happens to be the same number that's associated with iOS 15.4.
It's the latest iOS.
Yep.
Not even an old one. It's the brand new one.
An
In
iPhone
fact,
11 running iOS 15.4.
some people did report. I don't know if you, when you connected it, did you have a software update on your monitor?
No, not right away.
Jason Snell, a good friend of ours, his crashed.
Yes, it did. It did.
Now, this was always a puzzle when Apple said, "Yeah, we're going to put the A11 Bionic in it," which is the same chip in the iPhone 11 or A13.
A13, yeah.
Sorry, it's in the iPhone 11. Like, why? For what? And it does have, some features like Hey You Know Who, except that you still need a computer for You Know Who to talk back. It does have surround sound coming out of its. Were the speakers good? Did you like them?
Spatial audio, yeah, and the speakers were better than what I was using before. So absolutely, yeah.
So that's good, and it has a webcam built into it, which does center stage, which is Apple's technology for following you around like the Mona Lisa, just staring at you. However,
yes,
the camera reportedly not very good.
In fact, one person asked me if I needed to clean off my webcam.
Was that smushy?
It was just like a little bit of Vaseline.
Like it's got fingerprints on it? Yeah. And that's what Wall Street Journal is reporting. The Verge, Nilay Patel.
Scary as fuck.
The aforementioned John Gruber from Daring Fireball, all are saying this camera's terrible. Mm-hmm. Apple said, yeah, sorry. Oh, whoops. I don't know how this happens. Whoops. Oh, yeah, we blew it. We're going to ship out at some point. We don't know when. You didn't get a fix yet.
Nope, no fix yet.
We're going to ship out an update, a software update that'll make it better. Maybe that's why you put in an iPhone in there. Could any ship software updates to a monitor
as you want to.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like the idea of a display crashing on me.
I don't like that at all.
This doesn't do that.
No display I've ever had crashes. Exactly. Your TV does because it's a computer.
Yeah, that's true.
But most monitors are just passive little things. Anyway, I canceled, believe it or not, after reading these reviews. I canceled my Mac Studio Display order because I'm using a $600 LG 4K HDR display that looks fantastic on that Mac Studio. That's fine. I have a better camera. I got the Logitech Brio this is all for my wife because I would never get this for myself. The Logitech Brio camera, it's working quite well. She doesn't need the studio display. The Mac Studio itself is great. Fine. But don't go crazy. You don't have to buy it. You can just get, even the MacBook Air is fast for 99% of what normal people do. Unless you're a photographer, more importantly, like a video editor, you're doing 3D modeling, something fancy like that, you really don't need to spend more money. And that's the way it is. 8888 Ask Leo, that's the phone number. I am anxious to take phone calls about anything but Apple today. No, you can call about Apple too. 888-827-5536. Leo Laporte, Micah Sargent. We will talk tech next. Kim Schaffer, the unbreakable phone angel. She's a fine person who will answer your phones. You like stripes.
I knew you were going to say that. There have been a lot of stripes lately, haven't there?
Yeah. You like them. No, I like stripes too.
I think better than animal prints. I think when a woman gets to the age that I am now, they tend to be an animal print.
Is that a cougar print that you're wearing? Is that what that is? Are you?
Go.
But stripes, stripes are good. Better than polka dots.
Yeah.
Polka dots would make people look like circus tents. That's not a good look.
I guess this could.
No,
too.
stripes are good. I like them.
This makes me look like, what are the tents they put on your house when you're having pests?
Yeah, are you having your termites? Are you having your termites removed?
I look like a termite.
No, you don't. No, you look great. Who should I start the show with? Who should we start?
Let's go to, so you guys were just talking about the new Mac Mini, weren't you?
Yes, we were.
So let's go to Adam, who needs help configuring his online too. There's two Adams on the line, so just make sure you choose the
Adam in Putnam Valley, that Adam?
That one.
All right. Thank you, Kim. Hello, Adam in Putnam Valley, New York. Leo Laporte, Micah Sargent. Your tech guys for the
Leo.
day.
Hey, Micah.
Hello.
Hey, Leo. Hi, Micah. How you doing?
Great. Welcome.
Good.
Thank you. So just so you know, last time I spoke to you was 2013. You helped me pick out a computer for my son who had graduated college. Thank you for
How's
that.
he doing 9 years later?
He's doing good. He's a mechanical engineer.
Nice.
Yeah, top of his company, and he's doing a small company, but he's head of the company.
Awesome.
And he's doing really well. Thank you.
And by now he has a new sweater. He has a new computer. I'm still thinking about Kim's
sweater and computer.
Yeah, he kept building out the one that you recommended.
Oh, good.
He kept building it out, swapping it, and
Nice.
finally bought a new one and built his own. So
Nice.
Yeah, but thank you.
So what can we do for you, Adam?
Yeah, so I have a 27-inch iMac 2013, and I believe it's on its last breath.
It is.
It's giving me the beach ball more and more.
Yeah, the one I replaced for Lisa with the Mac Studio was in fact a 2014 iMac, and really my rule of thumb was I couldn't get it to Monterey. It was too old to upgrade to the latest Mac OS operating system, and that was it. And she was also more beach balling, more weird behavior. Yeah, I think it's time. Yeah.
So I bought the Mac Mini, the M1.
Perfect.
I bought it with 256 gig, the basic model. I bought it with 8 of memory. Here's the thing. I'm getting an external hard drive, the Samsung T5.
Very nice.
Recommended to me.
Yep.
I'm going to use that. Now, here's a question. Here it is. Do I put the apps on the Mac Mini's hard drive and all the rest of the data on the external, or do you put the whole thing on the external? Or
I would at least have the operating system on the internal. That's the fastest drive you've got. Of course, you've got Thunderbolt. Although that Samsung, I think, is just USB 3. Am I right? Or is it Thunderbolt?
No, I think it's USB.
Yeah, it's USB 3. So that's, I think, 10 gigabytes per second. So it's pretty fast. But you wouldn't want to boot off of it. Apps, you don't have a huge amount of choice with Mac OS. It really wants to put them in the applications folder. As long as you have enough, and I think you do with 256 gigs, unless you have a million apps, I would put the apps, and this is almost always the case with any external drive and any operating system. Operating system, apps, anything you install stays on the internal fast drive. And then it's very easy in the Mac to make your data drive, your home drive, be anywhere, including that external disk. So the way you do that is you go into the user's settings, and it's an advanced setting, so you'll have to unlock it. Give yourself administrator permissions, and then in the advanced, if you, I think, right-click on your or command click on your name, there'll be advanced properties, and that's where you can actually say where your home drive lives. So you can then point it to the external drive. You're going to do it in a weird way because it's not just a name. You have to find the actual name. But once you do it, it can be anywhere. And that's really the easiest way to do it. Leo Laporte, the tech guy. So you're going to go in. So I don't know if I'm showing it, but I'm showing it a little later. So here I am in my users and groups.
Oh, hit that so well.
And I'm going to right-click or command-click on my name, advanced options.
Okay.
And then it says home directory. And you just, actually, you don't have to worry about it. You just choose it. So as long as that Samsung is attached, this will show up. And you can make the home directory be anywhere. That's really, it's nice because Apple makes it very easy. What you might want to do, when you first set it up, it's going to set up the home directory on the internal disk. What you might then do is copy that directory to the external directory so that everything's in the internal directories on the external drive, and then choose it. And then that way, nothing weird you won't be missing anything.
Right. Okay.
Copy it if you can with something like Super Duper. That will
use Super Duper.
Yeah, copy it with Super Duper so that you have all the hidden files and all that stuff as well.
Okay. I already back up to Super Duper, and I back up to Time Machine.
Good man. Good man.
Okay.
Be careful. Time Machine, if you don't give it an external drive, will back it up to the internal drive, which is very scant. You don't have a lot of room, so you don't want to back it up to the internal drive. You want to make sure you're backing it up. I think 256 is fine. I have 512 on my laptop, my new MacBook Pro 14-inch M1 Pro laptop, and I don't even use 256 of it. If you're prudent, you'll easily fit all the and that's for data as well as apps. So it's not a big deal. You should be able to fit it all in there. You don't have a huge number of apps, right?
Right. I have total storage of, I'm using 500 out of a terabyte, 500 gigabytes of a terabyte. So I bought a 2 terabyte drive, the Samsung.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect.
Okay. Now I have another question. You
Sure.
now raised another question, and I'm hearing all these problems about the display, studio display. I also purchased the studio display. It did not ship yet. I'm still waiting for it. But now I'm hearing these problems, and now I'm nervous. I was nervous to buy it because of the expense of it, and now I'm nervous about the problems they're having.
Well, you're replacing an iMac. So really the whole point of this studio display from Apple's point of view is you buy that and that Mac Mini you bought or the new Mac Studio, you're making an iMac. But they're just separate components. And so that's why it has the speakers, the camera, and the microphone array. It's all the features that were in your iMac. If you decide not to buy it and buy you can buy a less expensive monitor, which is nice because you can get all kinds of configurations. But you'll still have to buy speakers and a camera and a mic if the camera doesn't have a good mic. The Brio, one of the reasons I bought the Brio, which was $200, is it's a very, very, very good camera with very, very good mics. It's good array mics. So in that case, all I had to add to Lisa's monitor was some decent speakers.
Right.
So, Micah's keeping his, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because it's exactly what I wanted, which was an all-in-one solution with the speakers and all of that kind of stuff. And I mean, I already knew I was going to have to use, I was pretty certain I was going to have to use an external webcam for the stuff that I do, because it does require a better camera than you're going to get from any monitor that has a built-in webcam.
Right. Well, and that's just it. I love my iMac display. I get so many compliments from it. And it's 2013, and it still looks amazing.
Yeah, I'm sitting in front of a 5K. It's great. It's a great display. Yeah. I have to replace this too, though, because I can't get to Monterey, and that's kind of a problem. Somebody is saying, and it's a good point. Alberta Guru is saying, if you move your home folder to the external drive, if for any reason that external drive is connected, the Mac is going to barf when you boot. So it might be better to keep the home drive where it is and just put your documents and your other stuff. You could put those anywhere you want and put those in the external drive, and then keep a small home drive internally. He's right. That's probably the most reliable way to operate.
Okay. Will I be able to do that from the setup stick?
Yeah.
Because I don't have enough room to put it all on there and then drag it. I don't have the room to do that.
Well, in that case,
Gigabyte.
I got to run because we got to get ready for Scott.
Go ahead.
But I would say in that case, don't do the set up your Mac thing. Copy it over to the external drive. Go from there. It's time to get hip. Look at this guy. He's getting hipper and hipper. Scott Wilkinson, home theater guru. I like your quilt behind you now. That looks good.
Oh, thank you. My grandma made that.
Aw.
Yeah, I thought I recognized a nice granny square.
Classic. Oh, it is. That's a granny square, isn't it?
Lots of different
Yeah.
squares.
It's actually, I think it's crochet. It's
Yep.
not a quilt. It's
Yep, crocheted granny squares, and then you combine them together to make a blanket out of it.
Micah knows
That's right.
all about this.
I am a
Don't
crocheter.
Don't ask why. He's under 30, but he's a grandma.
I indeed. Just call me Granny Micah.
Yeah.
this Granny Micah. All right.
Scott joins us every week to talk about home theater, big screen TVs, surround sound. He writes at techhive.com. What's the latest?
Well, I've been getting a number of listener questions by email, which is great.
Good.
And those who want to write to me, please do. It's scott@twit.tv. Very easy. And I will answer as best I can.
Twit.tv, I should explain because people are going, why is that so easy?
Oh.
Twit is our, it's not that easy. Twit is our podcast network, This Week in Tech. And its website is twit.tv, and we get email at twit.tv. So, yes, you can write to Scott at twit.tv.
Exactly.
Yes,
Exactly.
TWIT.tv.
Mm-hmm. So the perennial question, of course, is what TV should I get?
Yes. Yes. Has that changed much in the last few years?
No. I mean, in terms of the question, no. Everybody.
No,
wants
in
to
terms
know
of the answer. I don't get it.
what-
No, people have been asking that question since I Love Lucy. But
That's right.
The answer has changed since then. Has it changed in
has.
the last few years? Is the question.
Yes, I would say so. TVs have gotten better and cheaper by a long shot.
Yeah, that's nice, isn't it?
Which is really nice. Yeah. So James E asks, what's the best TV under $1,000, 50 inches or more? Now, $1,000. I mean, do you remember the old plasma, the original 42-inch Fujitsu plasma TV?
$10,000.
$10,000.
I don't even remember it. We bought some. At Tech TV, I didn't pay it.
Yeah.
Paul Allen, the Microsoft billionaire, paid it, so he could afford it.
He could afford it.
Those things got burned in like in 5 minutes, by the way. They were terrible.
Oh, man.
I felt so bad.
Kidding. Yeah. Well, these days, you can get a really good TV, a lot larger than that 42-incher, for a tenth the cost, $1,000.
Who did I just see that's selling, like, I think that the QD OLEDs, Samsung's prices on the QD OLEDs are very good. Did you notice that?
I haven't noticed that. No, I have to go look that up. The QD OLED, which is their brand new Quantum Dot OLED, which they announced at CES this year for the first time.
But not with prices at the time.
No, and I haven't actually seen the prices. You have. I have to go look those up.
So they have a low end and a high end.
Of course.
But the low end, say a 55-inch is $1,500. I mean, it's still a little bit above our viewers.
Our target. Yeah, exactly. But still, $1,500
for QD OLED. Yeah. Wow. Well, that's not bad. I was going to tell James, I told him in the email that if you can stretch a little bit to $1,300, the LG 55-inch C1 OLED would be my strong recommendation. The C1 LG. I have this older LG.
You have an
I
older LG.
love it. It is aged beautifully. It still looks gorgeous.
Still
and that's
looks great.
Probably 7 years old now.
Yeah, I remember calibrating it way back when.
Thank you.
Anyway, so yeah, $1,300 for the C1 55-inch C1 OLED. Strong recommendation. Now, if you have to stay under $1,000, then there are several choices, and the two companies that I recommend looking at are TCL and Hisense, both of which are Chinese companies, huge Chinese companies. And they're both, TCL has made inroads into the U.S. market for quite a few years now. Hisense is starting to more and more. And we've got two that I would recommend from TCL, both 55 inches. The R635 is a Roku-based TV for $950. And the R646, which is a Google TV-based smart TV, is $750. Now, I have no idea why there's a $200 difference between these two TVs. My guess is that Roku costs more to license.
They must be, yeah.
It must be.
And they need a better processor, you know? I mean, if you really want it to be a Roku, it should have a better processor than most smart TVs come with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Now, as you and I have always said, get an external box to do your smart TV functions. It's going to work better. It's going to be more upgradable. It's not very expensive.
If it's a Roku inside, that might be the exception to that. I mean, I agree. Yeah. It's better than
I prefer the Roku.
Yeah, the software that the companies write, Samsung, Sony, LG, is terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
So it's better to use the Roku software. And if it's internal, as long as they give enough processing.
Yeah. That you're right. That may very well be. Well, there are two Hisenses I wanted to quickly recommend as well. The 55-inch U8G, which is $750. These are both Android TV, smart TV platforms, by the way. And you can get a 65-inch U8G, which is an Android, for $950. So under your $1,000 budget, you could actually get a 65-inch TV. Even better, Rtings, the TV rating review site, rting.com. Says that
ratings without the A.
Ratings without the
without the vowels. Or no, Tings has an I.
It has an I.
Ratings without the A.
Anyway, they say the Hisense U8G has better local dimming than the TCL. So that's a pretty strong recommendation if you're okay with the Android smart TV interface. Like you, I say Roku is the best smart TV interface.
Yeah. By the way, this display that Micah bought, that was another complaint. Not only does it not have HDR, it doesn't have local dimming. So it's really
What?
Yeah, for $1,500.
Oh,
That's
man.
not
Have local dimming?
Does what?
Does that iMac have local dimming?
No. They didn't have local dimming back in the day. I'm thinking the LG that I bought, the $600 LG 4K display that I bought, probably does because it's HDR.
If it's HDR, then it probably does.
Yeah, Apple supports HDR. Interesting.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So,
But
their
they
monitor
don't
does
make
not.
it in that. Yeah, that makes no sense. Well,
It's
I
a
don't know.
little bit of an anecdote. You know, the story is that they designed it. This is what Mark Gurman told us on MacBreak Weekly. They designed it 2 years ago, and that maybe is a little telling that it's a little bit of an older display technology, perhaps.
Yeah, why didn't they update it?
Yeah, and so
Weird.
it's 60 hertz, not faster. There are a lot of displays.
What? Not 120 hertz?
Wow, your outrage is
game-
showing.
My outrage is showing. I mean, if you're playing games on this thing,
Yeah.
and I don't realize Mac is not the gaming platform.
No, but
that
they should
PC
have it.
is.
Yeah,
They should have 120 hertz, and they should have variable refresh rate,
yeah.
which they probably don't.
They may not have in the operating system. There may be an I don't know, but this display definitely doesn't. So yes, it's not a very high end display.
No, but at a high end price. Good golly.
Well, it is Apple after all. You have to pay for logo, my friend.
I guess
Don't make Micah feel bad. He bought
feel
it.
bad. No, I don't.
Actually,
I
wait a
don't
minute. You
want
didn't
to.
buy it. I bought it. Never mind. Don't make me feel bad.
I have to say I like the idea of all-in-one. Micah mentioned that earlier.
The all-in-one and the 5K display for me.
5K.
Because I've been using two old school Dell monitors as my external monitors that are not that Retina.
Yeah,
level.
yeah.
So all of that coming together is
That's a good point. I mean, the display I'm using is a 4K. It's not a 5K.
Right.
Anyway,
There you go.
anyway, there you go.
My question is to Micah is the color space, but we'll have to talk about that another
It's
time.
P3. It is P3.
Oh, okay. That's pretty good.
Scott Wilkinson, Home Theater Geek. Find him at techhive.com and here every week. Hey, it rhymes. You have
Tube and throat singer. Yes.
you have a bright halo below you. Is there a light close to your camera or something?
Well, no.
See that? Hey, look at your picture. See
Hang on a
that?
second.
Maybe it's just over brightened. I don't
just
know.
the angelic radiance.
I've been playing with my settings. I found a way to get rid of the sparkly.
Well, you see, do you see how bright it is, like in the lower left?
Yeah. I don't quite understand that, to tell you the truth.
Must be
just be-
local dimming on the webcam.
Could be over brightened. Often I see this if there's kind of a light near the lens, it's flaring up into it. But now that I look at it, I think you've over brightened it. That's all.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah.
So I am going to go to preferences.
It's very crisp. I mean, what camera are you using? I forgot.
It's a Logitech 920.
920. Yeah, it's a good camera.
Yeah, it's a good camera.
Very
Okay,
crisp.
so I'm just gonna go.
I think you overplayed your hand.
I over brightened it. All right, I can easily change that. I can darken down the brightness, but you see that's
That's not right either.
not right either.
It
I've
almost
been
looks like
playing
it's still
with.
doing backlight compensation, even
Oh,
though
well,
it shouldn't be.
Yeah, hang on a second. I do have adjust for low light.
Turn that off.
Turn that off. Boom!
Oh, there you go. Now,
Now reset like the brightness.
Yeah.
wow, that's fixed it. That was Zoom doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, there you go. That's much better.
Now you look more
Now you
natural.
are normal.
Right.
That's too
I
bright.
can-
Well, one step down.
Well, one step down. Okay. Too bright. One step down. I can also increase.
Actually, that
my
looks really
saturation.
good.
I know,
When I
I
go
think it
full
does look
screen,
good, yeah.
that's really good. Don't touch anything
Ooh.
unless you have a really good tan. But other than that, you look great.
I don't have a
And
really
there's a
good
nice
tan.
flare around your cube up in the over your left shoulder, and that's
Oh, good,
perfect.
okay.
Yeah, that's perfect.
You like that? Okay,
I
good.
love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Excellent.
You don't look like the angels are coming to get you now.
Well, I really wanted to get rid of that that flickering effect on my clock, and I did that by increasing the exposure time.
Yeah. Well, I don't see any flickering. I see everything
Nope.
looks good. Yeah.
Yeah, everything looks good.
Yeah. Your globe
My
is
lava
rotating.
lamp.
Your lava lamp is lamping.
My googly eye clock. So far, no one has noticed that yet.
Oh, are those googly eyes?
Those are googly eyes, and one of them is the hour, and one of them is the minute.
Oh, wow.
Hysterical.
And they
They're
slowly
too bright.
rotate around.
They're too bright to see the definition in the googly eyes, so
Oh,
I can't
okay.
see the eyeballs, but that's awesome. Now that I know.
Really cool, yeah.
Now that I know.
Oh, good. Thank you guys for helping me with my.
I like
my
the
halo.
look now. I love it, especially
Good.
with grandma's quilt.
Grandma's crochet. Yes, indeed.
Micah's a big crocheter.
Are you really?
Oh,
Yeah, I
did
am.
you see this? He did this. He did this. He did a little Linux penguin for me
Wow.
with a real hat.
That's so
He crocheted
cool.
the hat and everything.
Wow.
He's very talented.
Thanks. I
Oh, that's
wanted
great.
a new skill whenever the pandemic kicked off, and I took up knitting and crocheting. And I really like crocheting even more than knitting.
Oh wow. Then you know all about this.
I do, yeah.
It's funny because I
recognize the
took up
granny
sitting
square.
around in my boxers watching TV, and it worked well. I thought.
Well, I'm sure you got really good at it.
I
too.
did. I'm
You're a
excellent.
pro.
Excellent. Scott, you want to stick around for the top of the
Sure.
hour? Okay.
Sure, happy to.
Thank you, sir.
Wow, that was a mishit.
This episode is brought to you by
Yips.
Allstate. There are some questions
Yips,
you
yips,
should
yips.
sleep on. Like, should I get a tattoo of that girl I just met today? Or should I adopt that cute dog that bit me this morning? But others are no-brainers. Like, should I switch my auto insurance to Allstate? Because drivers who switch to Allstate could save $744. And the quicker you switch, the quicker you save. That's $744 right back into your wallet. Or perhaps towards a tattoo. It's one of those decisions where the sleep on it rule doesn't really apply. Better protection costs a whole lot less. Call or visit allstate.com today. Allstate, you're in good hands. Average annual savings based on customers in 2021 who reported auto savings when switching auto to Allstate.
Leo Laporte, the tech guy. 8888 Ask Leo. Micah Sargent, the tech guy too, is here as well. Yes. Two, TOO. On the line from Coldwater, Michigan. Jim. Hi, Jim.
Yes, I'm here.
Hello, Jim.
Good afternoon. Thanks for taking my call, Leo.
Thanks for
and
calling.
good afternoon to
Micah.
Hello.
Nice.
Well, I am. First of all, I'm semi-technology challenged.
Okay.
Even though I'm WV0SS,
Oh, well, if you're an amateur radio operator, you're Mr. Analog anyway.
I should know better.
Yeah.
I'm in arguments with my Outlook at work.
Oh, everybody is. That's not,
Yeah.
that's just normal. What's going on?
Well, I'm running Windows 10. I got Outlook. It says PWA, whatever that means.
That's progressive web apps. So
Oh.
this gets really complicated. So Outlook can be a number of things, and this is Microsoft's fault, to be honest. They use the word Outlook for a lot
Oh,
of
you
different
fucking
things. There's
kidding me.
Outlook.com,
Right.
which is the website, and that can be a progressive web app, which means if
And
you're in
you
an
dropped me back
appropriate
100
browser,
fucking feet?
Chrome, primarily Edge, I
dropped in,
guess
like,
will do it
fucking
as well,
50 yards
Microsoft's
further.
browser. You can download the bits and pieces
All right.
from the
That
website
sucked ass.
and run it as if it's a local app in its own window.
That
Got it.
really
You still will need to be online to get mail and things like that, but it does have some offline capabilities as well. So PWA is just a way of doing the website on your desktop.
Okay.
Then there's the other Outlooks, which are the Outlook that comes with Microsoft Office.
This game fucked
they
me.
have a million names. And get
Fuck
ready
me.
because Project Monarch is coming along, which is going to mess everything up that we figured out. Yeah.
I'm so happy.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Microsoft.
So at work, when I set up an out of office, I'm going on vacation in a couple of weeks. I want to set up the out of office notice.
Yeah.
And I can't find anywhere in the rules. But what happens is I get notifications from my wholesaler. I'm a sales rep.
Yeah.
And I'll get a notice that's one of those do not respond to this email.
Yeah, and it'll respond to it.
Which sets up a death spiral endlessly.
Oh, you're kidding, because then it says, no, I told you, do not
Well, keeps the
respond. And then
handicap
you
honest,
respond
doesn't it?
again. It says, I told you. Wow.
Last time my internet provider cut us off at 1,000 messages, which
Oh, my God. It went back and forth 1,000 times. So that's a dumb out of office.